What's up, everyone? Welcome to our post-game flow. And what we're going to be starting out here with is some supine scorpions. Supine means face up, so I'm looking up at the ceiling, and as you can see, it's a really easy movement to understand, but at the same time, it does pack a punch. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be raising one leg up while keeping my core tight, trying to keep both legs as straight as possible, and then dropping that leg toward the opposite hand. Right? By keeping my core tight as I do this and staying engaged, I'm going to be getting a nice stretch through the entire side of my body, all the way down through my back, through my butt, into my legs, maybe even a little bit in the upper back if I'm really tight, which you can see I definitely am very tight. And that's going to be our supine scorpion. Don't worry if you feel your shoulder pop up off the ground on the opposite side. That just means you need to do that, right? Moving into the prone scorpions, which means face down. My face is going to be straight down toward the mat. I've got my arms spread out toward the side. And it's the same concept as the supine scorpion. I'm going to be taking that leg, reaching it over my body and toward the opposite hand. You see there that I kind of did a grab move with my hand to try to stretch that front hip just a little bit more. Works really well if you're having some issues getting it all the way over to the hand. You may feel some activation on the back side of your leg as well as a big stretch in the front. Once again, don't stress if you feel this stretch go all the way in through your abdomen up toward your chest. Just means you're tight and you definitely need to do this stretch. That rotation helps set us up to move into our next movement, which is 90-90 Shin Boxes, which is going to help restore some really solid movement in the hips after a gaming session. Can see there as I lean over to one side, I'm grabbing my front shin bone there and it's helping me, assisting me to get into this position. And now you can see after a couple reps, I'm able to comfortably slide into position and I don't need to grab that front shin bone anymore. Keeping my chest upright and my hands away from my body and away from the floor is going to help to ensure that my hips are taking the load and doing the movement for me, restoring that movement quality. After a long gaming session, this is going to feel really, really tight, but I know you guys can do it. Moving into our next segment, we have what we would call a double kneeling cervical stretch. So I'm on both knees. I've got my core really tight. As you can see there, I put one arm behind my back and I grab around the elbow with the opposite arm. It's hard to see it at this angle here, but I have my hand completely rotated so my palm is facing the wall behind me. You'll be able to see that on this one right here. There we go. I rotate that hand, so I'm trying to get my palm to face the wall behind me by rotating that thumb out. And then you can see there I'm squeezing my core, my belly super tight, and I'm taking my ear toward my opposite shoulder. So if I'm stretching the right side, I'm gonna go left ear toward left shoulder. Once again here, got a little bit better view of my hand this time. I'm taking my right ear toward my right shoulder and my chin down toward my chest. And this is giving me a great stretch through the upper back and the neck. There's going to be a lot of strain that gets put on this area from a long session. So we're definitely going to want to take our time and focus on this. Once again, you can see I'm grabbing around the elbow, the forearm, rotating the arm around, tightening up the core, and then taking the chin toward the chest and the ear toward the opposite shoulder. This is going to feel really good. You may want to do a little bit extra on that, which is totally cool. Moving into our next segment, we have rock ups to alternating leg reach. So a rock up is simple. I bring my knees in toward my chest and make myself into like a kind of like a ball shape. And I use the momentum to roll up and then I reach for the opposite leg. This is going to help to dynamically stretch the back of the leg, the hamstrings. And it's also going to help us to get some core activation going, which once again, after a long session, you can either have an overactive abdomen or you could just be sitting there like a pile of potatoes. So either way, we're going to want to take that and we're going to want to tighten up. Feel that core activate as you sit up and reach for that opposite leg. Moving into our next segment here, we're going to have another tall pose, just like we did in our pregame. This is the tall pigeon pose. As you can see, I've got that back leg razor blade straight, squeezing the glutes. I'm going to bring my knee up and try to put my leg in between my hands. So I'm trying to place that shin bone in between both my hands while keeping the back leg straight and the chest up and the spine. Notice how my back is nice and straight. I'm not hunched over and I'm also not in a big arch. That's going to help you guys a lot when it comes to feeling the stretch through the butt. You will feel the stretch mostly in the glutes, the butt. That's where you're going to feel it. You may feel it a little bit into the lower back. You also might feel it a little bit on the outside of the leg, but for the most part, this is one of those stretches that you're mainly gonna feel in the glutes. Notice how we're doing 6 to 8 reps per side, making sure that we're staying really rigid, pushing our arms into the ground, and making sure that we feel that stretch, right? Think that's gonna do it for our post game. I don't think we have any other movements coming up after this. Hope you guys enjoyed the post game cool down. We're looking forward to loading up a couple more of these videos here in the near future. Let us know what you think in the comments. Appreciate it.